Hey y'all, I'm back with another episode in the Hack When I Quarry Devlog series. So, last time we worked on cave generation, making the underground feel much more lively. And I honestly can't wait to add some cool structures in the caves, but before I can get to the fun stuff, I have to go through the slog. The stuff that all games need, but it's really boring to implement. So, today I'll be updating the game's current UI, and I'll document everything. Okay, so I got a wheel online because I couldn't decide what to work on first. So, and the result is player hotbar. That's those little squares that hold all the tools. For being the first one to fix, the hotbar was definitely the simplest. All I had to do was shrink it down and change the colors. I had some plans to add little extra details, but it made it more complicated, so I just gave up on that. But that was surprisingly easy. It won't say that way. Alright, next up. Looks like we got inventory. It's the box to the right, the one that shows the player's current items. Luckily, this one wasn't too bad either. First, I'll shrink it down a bit. That seems to be a bit of a trend. And that's kind of it. Nah, I can do a little more than that. Okay, so a little pet peeve I've had with the original system is when there's too many items and you can't see them all. And that in of itself isn't too bad, but then you unlock something new, and you have to sift through your inventory to find it, and it's just really annoying. So I added a system that scrolls the inventory screen towards the last ore you mined. And I was originally going to use a tween for this. A tween is a built-in function that fades an instance's value between two values, like fading from red to orange, among others. It originally had a smooth scroll from one item to the next, and it worked when the pickaxe slowly collected items. But this looked really bad for the clicker pickaxe. So now it just snaps to position, which works, I guess. I also added a little flash every time you collect something, which I did use tweens for. Nice. Okay, looks like we got health bar. That's the bar above the hotbar that shows the ore's health when you mine it. There wasn't really much to change with the health bar. I changed the colors. Ew! Dude! And for once, I didn't even shrink it. Well, that's all the changes to it. And no, I'm not going to add any more. Yet. Okay, looks like we got player HUD. That's the large box to the left with those bars in it. I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, this one took me the longest to complete, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So the HUD is broken up into 5 main parts: health, experience, radiation, cold, and hot. The original system had all of these bars visible at once, and the heat was condensed into one whole bar, which was really cluttered. So this system is going to have a lot of changes. First, shrink it. You'll notice that the radiation and heat bars are completely absent on this design, and that's on purpose. Alright, now that I've gone through the major design changes, let's speedrun these explanations. Health is obvious. When you take damage, the bar goes down. It also has a cool after bar because that looks cool, and your health slowly regenerates over time, so don't worry. It'll show the number of health when you're regenerating, and it also flashes every time your health changes. XP is also obvious. You get XP by mining ores. Rarer ores give you more XP. I added that same flash and afterbar to this one too. Radiation is a special effect that increases when you're near radioactive ores. It slowly decreases over time, but if the bar is fully filled, you die instantly. Also, the screen gets green, and the radiation and sound starts playing, and hot and cold are double trouble. The bar will shift depending on if you're hot or cold, and if you're too hot or too cold, you start to take damage. The screen and the sound's good stuff too. And time. That took a while. Let me catch my breath for a bit. Alright, coordinates. This had the least changes out of all of them. All I did was shrink it and change the font of the cave counter. You know what? Screw it. Here's an extra little bonus thing. Okay, now we're talking. So, death screens are interesting. They're always unique in every game that has them. It could be a simple fade to black, and I think that could work. I made the game fade out when you die, and it also shows a random game over message. It also shows how you died, so you can succumb to frostbite, heat stroke, radiation, and explosion. When I was working on this, it destroyed the player animation script. I don't know what was going on for a couple hours, and I had to remake the entire script from scratch.
You got owned! Yeah.
But apart from that, the left screen works just fine. Okay, so the last UI element I have to change is player statistics. I don't think I need to spend a... So, the player statistics are actually two things. The player data, like their name and level, and their money. Making the change wasn't all too terrible. It was just a bunch of moving stuff around and typing numbers and stuff. I did add functionality with the HUD bars, so if you hover your mouse over the bars, you'll see the exact values of each bar. This took a lot longer to get right than I'm willing to admit. I also added money in the form of treasure and pearls. And whenever you gain money, the number flashes. That's more tweens for you. Nice. Apart from that, that's all the stuff I've got today. The UI is looking much better. Now I don't need to bleach my eyes after playtesting. Of course, these designs aren't final. I'll probably add and change things around in the background, but I'm not going to make a dedicated video for that anymore. Next devlog is going to be a special one, and it's going to involve that health bar I mentioned earlier. What am I going to do with it? You'll just have to stay tuned for that.